Introduction. Throughout American history, the office of the president has been the focal point of both admiration and controversy. While some presidents have earned the respect of the nation, others have found themselves mired in scandals that have forever shaped their legacies. From financial misdeeds to personal indiscretions, presidential scandals have been as much a part of American history as the achievements of the office itself. In this video, we'll explore the top 5 presidential scandals in American history, looking at how they unfolded, their impact on the nation, and their lasting effects on the office of the president. 1. Watergate Scandal, the downfall of Richard Nixon. Perhaps the most infamous presidential scandal in American history, the Watergate scandal shook the nation to its core and led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon in 1974. The scandal began with a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C., during the 1972 election campaign. While the break-in itself was troubling, it was the cover-up that ultimately led to Nixon's downfall. As investigations into the break-in progressed, it was revealed that members of Nixon's administration had orchestrated the break-in and subsequently tried to cover up their involvement. The scandal grew larger when it was discovered that Nixon had recorded conversations in the Oval Office, leading to the famous smoking gun tape, which proved that he had tried to obstruct justice. The Watergate scandal led to a loss of public trust in the presidency and the government. Faced with impeachment, Nixon became the first U.S. president to resign, leaving a permanent stain on his legacy and changing the way future presidents would be held accountable for their actions. 2. Bill Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky Scandal. In the late 1990s, President Bill Clinton found himself at the center of one of the most sensational scandals in American history. The scandal began with allegations of sexual misconduct with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Clinton initially denied having an affair with Lewinsky, famously stating, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." However, as investigations into the matter progressed, it became clear that Clinton had indeed engaged in an affair with Lewinsky. The scandal intensified when it was revealed that Clinton had lied under oath during a deposition and had attempted to cover up the affair. The matter led to a congressional investigation and, ultimately, the impeachment of President Clinton in 1998 on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice. Despite the impeachment, Clinton was acquitted by the Senate and finished his second term in office. However, the scandal forever altered the public's perception of his presidency, and the events surrounding it raised questions about the integrity of the office of the president. 3. The Teapot Dome Scandal, Warren G. Harding's corruption. One of the most significant scandals of the early 20th century, the Teapot Dome Scandal, involved the secret leasing of federal oil reserves to private companies during the presidency of Warren G. Harding. In the 1920s, the U.S. government controlled vast oil reserves, including those at Teapot Dome, Wyoming, which were set aside for military use in case of emergency. However, in 1921, Harding's Secretary of the Interior, Albert Fall, secretly negotiated the leasing of the Teapot Dome and other reserves to 2 major oil companies in exchange for bribes. Fall was later found guilty of accepting these bribes, and the scandal became a national sensation. The Teapot Dome scandal was the first time a U.S. cabinet member was convicted of a crime while in office. While Harding himself was never directly implicated, the scandal severely damaged his administration and tarnished his legacy. It also led to increased scrutiny of government corruption and reforms aimed at greater transparency in federal dealings. 4. Andrew Johnson and the impeachment crisis. In the wake of the Civil War, President Andrew Johnson, who had succeeded Abraham Lincoln after his assassination, found himself at odds with Congress over Reconstruction policies. Johnson, a Southern Democrat, opposed many of the radical Republican measures aimed at rebuilding the South and granting civil rights to newly freed African Americans. In 1867, Johnson violated the Tenure of Office Act, which restricted the president's ability to remove certain officials without Senate approval. Johnson dismissed Secretary of War Edwin Stanton and attempted to replace him with a more sympathetic candidate, leading to a standoff with Congress. In response, the House of Representatives impeached Johnson on charges of violating the law. The case went to the Senate for trial, and while Johnson was acquitted by just one vote, the impeachment revealed deep divisions in the country during the Reconstruction period. Although he remained in office, Johnson's presidency was effectively weakened, and the scandal made it clear that the executive branch would be held accountable by Congress. 5. The Iran-Contra affair, Ronald Reagan's scandal. In the 1980s, the Reagan administration found itself embroiled in the Iran-Contra affair, a political scandal that involved the illegal sale of arms to Iran and the use of profits from those sales to fund Contra rebels in Nicaragua. At the time, Iran was under an arms embargo, and the U.S. government had designated the Contras as a group fighting against a communist government in Nicaragua. In a covert operation, senior members of the Reagan administration, including Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, facilitated the sale of weapons to Iran, hoping to secure the release of American hostages held by Iranian militants. The money from these arms sales was then funneled to support the Contras, who were fighting against Nicaragua's Sandinista government. The Iran-Contra affair was discovered in 1986, and investigations revealed that key members of the Reagan administration had circumvented U.S. law. While President Reagan claimed he was unaware of the illegal activities, many believed that senior officials acted with his approval. Several individuals involved were convicted, though many were later pardoned by President George H.W. Bush. The Iran-Contra scandal raised questions about the role of covert operations in U.S. foreign policy and the accountability of the executive branch. It highlighted the dangers of unaccountable government actions and led to calls for greater oversight of the National Security Council and other intelligence agencies. Conclusion: presidential scandals have played a significant role in shaping the course of American history. From Watergate's dramatic downfall of a president to the personal misconduct of Bill Clinton, these scandals have exposed the flaws and vulnerabilities of the highest office in the land. While some scandals led to resignation or impeachment, others have merely tarnished a president's legacy. In the end, these events serve as a reminder that those who hold the office of president must be held to the highest standards of accountability, as the actions of the president can have far-reaching consequences for the nation. While the legacies of these presidents may be forever tainted by scandal, each of these events provides a valuable lesson in the importance of transparency, honesty, and ethical leadership in the Oval Office.